Oh, I drank all of my Diet Coke before I started filming, so let's hope I can get through the story without losing my voice. Not possible, but oh well. I have another scary story for you guys. Surprise! Not really a surprise at all, because I probably tweeted about it. I mentioned this in my video for next week because I filmed that video before I decided to film this video because I make no sense. I don't know how to do math. But what I say in my video for next week isn't correct because I changed my mind like over the course of the last day. So I'm gonna explain a little bit about what I plan on doing, at least for the next couple weeks or when I have time, essentially. I promise I'll make this short and sweet. When I have longer stories, I don't like separating them week by week because I feel like nobody wants to wait a week to hear the rest of the fucking story. Like, it's just not a thing. Nobody's patient enough for that. I know I certainly am not. So people will read ahead and then they'll listen to me tell the story, but it's just not really the same. So what I want to do, for longer stories at least, is I want to do them back to back. So since I upload Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, I've decided to just add on Fridays. I mean, not every week, but for the weeks that I have stories that are long. Does that make sense? For example, I uploaded the beginning of the story yesterday, and now this is going to be the finale to the story. This is a story I've been reading for a couple weeks now, so I mean, we're testing this out. But next week I have a story that's so fucking long that I actually do have to separate it for a couple weeks. But I'm reading one part Friday, one part Saturday, and then the finale will be the next weekend because I don't want to do 3 days in a row because that's just a lot. But I think this will be nice because you guys won't have to wait as long for the rest of the story, and I can read more stories because I have a huge list of stories I want to read right now. And when I have long stories like this, they just take up so many slots that I can't tell all the stories that I want to tell. So this is what we're gonna do. And I owe you guys so many hour-long stories at this point, and again, this is a lot of stuff that I'm gonna repeat in next week's video, but I'm sorry. I also say in next week's video that I'm gonna do Saturday, Sunday, but I lied. I'm gonna do Friday, Saturday, because that makes way more sense. These details don't matter. Courtney, just get to the point. So when I have a longer story, I'm gonna do 2 scary stories a week. If I have time during a week, which I always have time because I don't do anything else with my life, I'll upload a scary story on Friday and a separate one on Saturday. Yeah, deal? Okay, cool. Coming up the next couple of weeks though, I have my best friend's wedding and I'm also potentially moving, so I probably won't, and I also have a vacation, so I probably won't upload 4 times a week then, but I'll still have my 3 videos. Let's get on with the story. This is the finale to I Wanted a Job But Was Given a Nightmare. Thank you so much, TEAYUH, for writing this story and continuing to write it once I started reading it. It's such an amazing story and I'm sad that it's coming to an end. I actually thought that yesterday's video was the finale and I was so confused, so I messaged her. She told me no. She told me that she was going to post the last part of the story whenever, and now I'm reading the last part of the story. I also wanted to say I love TEAYUH so much. She bought me a Ouija board and I don't have it yet, but I will show you guys as soon as I get it. It's so beautiful. I'll put a picture. She DM'd me a photo of it. She bought it because she went to Salem on a trip, and she said she found it and it made her think of Kayla and I literally cried. I was like, this is honestly one of the nicest things I think anybody has ever done for me, and I'm so excited to use it. So I will show you guys that as soon as I get it. But thank you so much, TEAYUH. I love you. I love you so much. So I'll have her link down below as well as the story. This is the finale to I Wanted a Job But I Was Given a Nightmare. This couldn't be right. There's no fucking way. I blinked once, twice, 3 times. I even rubbed my eyes, and she still stood there. Jess was in front of me. Was I going insane? What? I managed. She kneeled down next to me so that our eyes were level, and a sickening smirk crossed her face. She looked the same, except her hair was longer now. Oh, Cher, you know nothing of anything. I furrowed my eyebrows in confusion when a gleam of light caught my eye. The flames were reflecting off of a necklace around her neck. Wait a minute. I leaned in a bit closer, believing my eyes to be playing tricks on me yet again. It was the pendant. My pendant, around her neck. I looked down to see how she had somehow slipped it off of me, but found the same necklace to still be fastened around my own neck. But how? Jess seemed to know what I was thinking as she let out a soft yet sinister chuckling sound, gripping my chin with her fingers and lifting my head up to look at her. It's the same, sweetheart. My great-grandfather wasn't stupid enough to watch and help the leader make only one protective necklace. He made one for himself, and he passed it down to my grandmother, who passed it down to me. It took a few seconds for her words to register before I managed to gasp, realizing what she meant. You're the granddaughter. Your grandmother was the founder of the Order of the 9 Angels. Jess chuckled again, roughly pulling her hand from my chin as she stood, her shadow towering over me. Now you're catching on. I couldn't find any energy in me to move as I watched my best friend move over to sit on the hood of my car. toying with the identical necklace. But how? How are you here? You didn't have the necklace when we were in the Lataf. Where have you been? Why did you leave? I thought you were dead. I screamed the last part out as anger filled me. How could she do this to me? She was supposed to be my best friend. Jess just rolled her eyes at my outburst. You really aren't that bright. Never have been. I don't know how I put up with you for a full year and lived with you even, but I had to. And it was worth it. You see, Cher, once I found out where my bloodline ran from, I did some deep digging and managed to grab hold of the necklace, which my grandmother left for me in her will, but my father tried to hide it from me. He was such a fool. He didn't have the right to take my rightful destiny away from me. Jess took a deep breath in, calming herself before continuing. Finding you at the same university I went to was pure luck. Once you told me where you were from, I was ecstatic. You lived so close to the Lataf. I was going to visit you at your home anyways and convince you to come with me to the building, but when you got a job there, whoa, I hit the fucking jackpot. You made it too easy for me. I found the strength to move again, anger and confusion still running through me as I got to my feet. What are you saying? Our friendship was faked because you wanted to get closer to your roots? This was hitting me so fast and too hard. Did I even know the girl standing in front of me at all? I used you, yes, but not just to become more familiar with where I came from. I also wanted to gain control again. I contacted the Order of the Nine immediately after I found out who I really was, and they laughed at me. Jess got off the hood of my car and took a step forward. They mocked me. Another step. I am the rightful leader of their group and they disregarded me like I was fucking trash. How dare they? I had to prove to them how powerful I was, how power ran through my veins, and how I was the only one fit to be their leader. She was right in my face now, her hot breath fanning over my face as I noticed the vein in her forehead popping with rage. And so I did. I convinced you, your brother, and Peter to come with me to the Lataf. I carried the necklace with me in my bag, and those rituals I was performing to cleanse the room was actually an ancient form of summoning a demon for a prolonged sacrifice. Her last words brought tears to my eyes. I knew what she meant. She sold our souls and risked our lives while she was able to get away safely, leading everyone to believe she was missing and even dead. Why? I cried out, my lower lip quivering a little. I understood this meant she was a threat now, but I felt my heart rip in two. She betrayed me. She betrayed us all. My heart was breaking, and so was my sanity. Because I needed power. I needed to find control. The only way the Order of the Nine would take me seriously is if I brought the very start of their existence to its knees and made it my bitch. Her eyes flickered for a moment, like an evil serpent. She was trying to control Abatu, like a pet. She was fucking psychotic. Are you out of your fucking mind? You can't control a demon. Cher. Jess shook her head as if she was speaking to a child. You have no clue what I am capable of. Before I could even think of a response, I felt it. A shearing pain emanating from my left side, slowly spreading around my torso. I let out a strangled gasp and fell to my knees in pain, clutching my stomach before my body twisted back with a feeling of sandpaper being dragged down my spine. Too focused on the pain, my eyes couldn't center in on Jess's face. You see, I more so made a deal with Abatu. It helped me get rid of witnesses while I provided it with power of its own. It only needed 3 of you to complete the deal. Peter was easy, and unexpected of his fate. Chris, he fought a bit, no surprise there. You were the last one that was supposed to go, but that damn old lady got in the way and practically ruined everything. I could only lay there and twitch in a frenzy of panic and pain as Jess ripped the necklace from my body. Well, almost ruined everything. Once you're gone, the deal will seal with Abatu, and he'll serve me until my last breath. I will have everything. Her laugh rang out as she stood once more, and I swear I would have given everything to rip my hearing aids out at that moment, so I no longer had to hear that cackle. I will bring every other cult to its knees, and maybe one day, rule the world. Unrealistic, I know, but a girl can dream. Jess smirked as she placed my necklace on her neck with the other, and moved over to me, grabbed one of my arms, bending it back in a painful way. I yelped in response and could do nothing as she began to drag me towards the burning building. I don't really want this, you know. Nothing against you. It would have been better if you had been willing, but I knew you wouldn't go down without a fight. Thank goodness I decided to take up black magic for the past 3 years. You'd think magic wasn't real, but I guess after what you've experienced, you wouldn't doubt it. She was talking to me so casually, each second bringing me closer to the heat, to the flames, to my death. I hated her. Oh, I hated her. After all that she's done, what she's put so many people through, she's the one who deserved to burn. I can't tell you where I found the strength. Maybe Helen and Peter and Chris were with me. Maybe there was a God who knew it wasn't my time. But I spun around on the ground and kicked Jess in the back of the leg, pulling my arm from her grasp as I rolled away to crouch, the pain now masked by adrenaline. Jess fell forward with a grunt before quickly facing me and charging. I dodged her advance, jutting my leg out to trip her at the last second. She tried to catch herself, but failed to do so before falling against the smoldering hot siding. Her palms landed against the surface and she hissed loudly in pain. It took a few seconds before she turned to me, huffing out. Her beast was unleashed. Her eyes were wide with craze and her hair now frayed out and against her face. She let out a vexed screech, charging at me once more. I met her halfway, bringing my arm around so my fist met her jaw with the perfect contact, causing her to fly backwards towards the burning building once more. I didn't stop. Another blow to her cheek followed and she fell back. We were now only a few feet from the flames. My skin was screaming at me to retreat, but I couldn't. I wouldn't. This girl took everything from me. I was going to get justice like I had promised myself. I didn't give Jess a chance to compose herself and fight back. I leaned down and hoisted her up by the collar of her shirt, bringing her nose to nose with me while using my other hand to rip both necklaces from her. Her eyes were wide now, having not expected me to have any fight left. I wanted my face to be the last thing she saw. This was a game you shouldn't have fucking started. You lose. With that, I pushed her into the flames as she screamed out in terror. Once the fire had claimed her, her screams didn't stop, and the familiar high-pitched screams followed hers. It was here. I turned around slowly, now facing the black mist. Abatu's white eyes bored into me. I didn't even flinch. There's your third sacrifice. Now go. The mist faded as red and blue lights blinded my vision. The reality of it all hit me once again, but was enough to drag me under this time. When I woke up a few days later, I was in the hospital. My gallbladder had ruptured and I had to have surgery immediately. My wrist was also sprained, and I was covered in bruises with a few scratches on my face. I was also handcuffed to my hospital bed. The librarian had come to the police with information after seeing my face on the news. They also discovered Jess's body, though almost burnt beyond recognition. And they didn't even have to question me. I pled guilty right away and never even requested a lawyer. I decided to never tell anyone the truth of what happened. Like they'd believe me anyways. I'd rather people believe me to be a criminal than crazy and a liar. How am I sharing this with you? My parents had me out on bail until my trial tomorrow. I know. Quick, huh? Well, I guess when you plead guilty and have a troublesome past, paperwork process is quicker in the court of law. I'm going to be away for a long time, but at least I stopped it. And I feel no remorse. I got justice for Peter, Chris, and Helen. I couldn't ask for anything more. As a bonus, Abatu won't be messing with anyone else I love. Everyone else is safe. I was able to provide a necklace to Pastor Warren in secret. He may need it one day. And I hid the other underneath the floor bed of my parents' house. Just a precaution. It's not a very happy ending for me, I know. They're talking 20 plus years, maybe even life. I don't feel I have a set purpose anymore, so I don't really care. I'm just a girl who wanted a job, but was given a nightmare. No, share! You were supposed to just kill everybody and then go home and be fucking happy and eat canes and party. I'm sad. No. I have to admit though, I love stories where you cannot expect an ending like that. That's absolutely insane. Because I just figured Jess would be there, her and Jess would be best friends again. She'd be like, oh my god, I found Jess. For some reason, this is what I thought, and you guys let me know your theories too. Because at the beginning of the story, when they were in the inn and Jess was the first one to go, I figured Abatu took over her body, and then once Cher was burning all these places and getting rid of Abatu, his soul would be released from her body and she would be freed again. So I figured Jess was coming back because Abatu was dead, so Jess was alive. Does that make sense? I'm shook. I am shook. But I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I'm really sad that it's ending, but I'm glad that it ended in a way that you couldn't expect. I feel like it makes the story even better. So good job, Tia. I love you and I love your stories, and I also hate you because I'm sad for Cher. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. By the way, I don't know if anybody noticed, but yes, I'm wearing this shirt again. because I have a problem, a lot of problems, but this is one of them. I find that sitting like in this direction makes it so that when I cut the clips, it's a little bit smoother because this is comfortable. I don't have to shift as much. So we're gonna do this. The only way the Order of the Nine would take me seriously, a shearing pain emanating from my left side. Siri, a shearing pain emanating from my left side. Once you're gone, I need Diet Coke.